Just like the street lights lit this town, like a fire in a blaze, gotta burn it down. Can't be afraid to leave this out. We got this far, don't know how. I see danger in your eyes. They know we'll burn down the night. Coming just like the sunrise. You know that we gonna let it rain. Tonight, we gonna let it rain. Tonight, we gonna let it rain. Just like the sunrise, we gonna let it rain. Just like a spark that's breaking out. Can't make a stop, can't turn back now. We know that there's no room for doubt. No, we can't turn back now. I see danger in your eyes. They know we'll burn down the night. Coming just like the sunrise. You know that we gonna let it rain. Tonight, we gonna let it rain. Tonight, we gonna let it rain. Just like the sunrise, we gonna let it rain.
Well, hello, everybody. Well, hello. I do have one of my necklaces on backwards, so we're just going to switch that real quick. I couldn't even get it through the loop. But welcome in. We have some news. We have some stuff to go over. Kohberger's acting out. We thought this time would come, but we wasn't sure when. We knew it was going to be before September. If it did, if he did try to, it's not file an appeal. I said it earlier in the chat, dagnabbit. Now I'm going to have to go find the wording for it. It's like it's not like an appeal, but it's like pretty much what everybody does whenever they want to get out of jail. And he wants to get out. Why wouldn't he, right? I mean, why wouldn't he? So basically, the banana, yeah, man really doesn't like the bananas. No, he does not. He does not, and he wants out. He said he's sick of it. But no, so I was actually going to do a live over this actual like topic, but then we were reading documents. So I was like, well, we'll just keep on reading the documents. And then hello, here we are. We're going to be talking about it. So he withdrew his plea. Basically, he's saying, they did him dirty. He's saying they pretty much, he's pretty much saying that Ann Taylor, everybody that was involved in, I guess Bill Thompson as well, I guess everybody involved with the plea deal, they told him that things were going to be different. He was going to get things. So false promises is what he said. So we'll go over this article and then we'll go over I do have his actual like write out of his plea. So I'm kind of curious because I haven't seen anything on the Ada County website, which if someone else has, let me know. Maybe I'm looking in the wrong section, the wrong spot. but it looks like he wrote out his actual affidavit of facts in support of post-conviction petition. So we'll read his handwriting. It's not that, it doesn't look that bad. I mean, it doesn't look like it looks like I can read it. So yeah. Okay, this is, oh my goodness, already. I'm already like, So the first thing I already read on the document, he talks about the clumps of hair in Ethan Chapin's hands. Okay, everybody that's usually here, that's here for the class every night, say, aye. What did we learn the other night, class? We learned that there was one piece of hair in each hand, equaling 2 pieces of hair total. And whose hairs were those? Ethan Chapin's. So let's go ahead and skip that because we read the document. We read it. So Kohberger, I don't think it's going to happen. Actually, I know it's not, but we're here for it. You know, I'm here for it. You want to go to trial? Let's do this thing. I've been ready. I was born ready. I was ready. Actually, you know when I was ready? I was ready for that preliminary hearing back in 2023. That's what I was ready for, if you really want to be technical. So this is great. This is just great. He is infuriating, isn't he? Yeah, I just saw that much in the clump of hair. Yeah. Thank you, Ozzy. And welcome in Caught Up in Crime. Welcome in Ozzy. I'll go through the names real quick and then we'll get right into it. If you guys don't mind, will you take a second, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We are usually here every time we're here every day live. I am a little I bounce around a little bit, but we're here. Hey, Jet Set. Hey, Julian. Hey, PJ. Someone was asking me about this in another chat, and I was in the shower and I was trying to text on my iPad, and then I couldn't hear the creator anymore. Hey, Ladybug. And I think what happened, I don't know what happened, actually. So pray for my iPad because I love that iPad. Hey, 97 Cyclone. Welcome in. Hey, Susan. And if I missed someone, I'm sorry. I'm going through them kind of fast, though. Hey, Laura. Hey, Catherine. Hey, Marcy. Welcome in. Hey, Tammy. It's good to see everybody. Yeah, hit that like button for your girl. Hey, Redwater. Thank you, Ozzy, for the floating heart. That's so nice. Thank you. Hey, Shayna. Hey, Gak Attack. I just heard about it a little bit ago, too. Hey, Petals and Poison. I like that name. Yeah, so I just found out about this a little bit ago, too. So I was like, what? Like, I knew that there was like an option, but I was still reading into it myself on like what his options were and what was going on and, you know, how this could be and things of that nature. So I have a bunch of tabs open, of course. I do have like what we're going to talk about today, and as soon as I go through the names, we'll do that. Hey, Donald. Hey, PKC. It'll likely be tonight, I would say. And hey, Tom, how you doing there, Tom? Where you been? Hey, Debbie. And I don't know, I think I said hi to PKC, but welcome in, everyone. It's good to see you guys. Good to see everybody. If I missed you, I'm sorry. I'll be back. Hey, Ember. I'll be back around. Yeah, apparently he doesn't read his own case documents, but we do. We have been. And I was looking forward to those too. Thank you for the flower. Thank you, Ozzy. I was actually going to like go over, you know, I like had my mindset on Brent Turvey tonight. Thank you for the silver star, Catherine. That's so nice. Listening in, getting ready to go out to dinner. Oh, that sounds like fun. Well, welcome in, everybody. Good to see you. Good to see you. My name is Tanya. Thank you for joining me. This is Titanium Built True Crime, like I said. A lot of people right now, we're all confused on what the hell is going on with Bryan Kohberger, number 163214. He entered a guilty plea, you know, last year around this time. And now all of a sudden, he's like, I take that back. So what we're going to talk about today is what rights that he actually gave up whenever he did the appeal, or whenever he, you know, signed the plea deal, what an appeal waiver means, what rights he may still have left, and why a person can sometimes appeal after, you know, agreeing not to make appeals. So Before we get started, hit the like button, subscribe. If you want to support the channel even further, you can go and do memberships. We have a Patreon and we have all kinds of other options. So you know the channels. I'm sure you know what to do. But every little bit helps, keeps these discussions going. So we'll go ahead and we'll get in with the New York Times. So the New York Times actually broke this story. They had an interview with Bryan Kohberger, I guess. But you have to pay for the New York Times. So I was like, we're going to go with CNN because they say everything that the New York Times has said. So Kohberger says he wants to withdraw plea and face trial for murder of Idaho college students. Now, how many times did he have an opportunity, I feel like, to go before the judge and say, I am ready to, I'm ready. I know I'm ready to waive my speedy trial. I'm ready to do my preliminary hearing. I'm ready to not plead silent. I'm ready to plead not guilty. I mean, there's a lot of things he could have done differently through every step of this trial process, in my opinion. But now all of a sudden, when he's sick of J block, right? I think that's the block he's on. He's sick of that block. He wants to go to H block. He's like, move me right now, please. They won't move him because, he doesn't like the people over there and the food and the bananas and all the things. And so now I feel like this is his other thing he's going to do. He's going to go, okay, now I got you. I'm going to say ineffective assistance to counsel. I didn't know what I was signing. That's pretty much what he's saying. And is Ann Taylor like not his lawyer anymore because he's writing this out in pencil or like maybe pen, but it looks like pencil or a really bad pen. So there he is the day that he was, convicted. Look at him. He pissed. He's looking at that judgment. Bryan Kohberger, the man convicted of fatally stabbing 4 University of Idaho students, is seeking to take back his guilty plea, he told the New York Times in an interview from prison. Now, do you think that he actually thinks that people believe, well, people probably do believe, that they didn't sit him down and read him every single paper, that they read every defendant before they sign a plea deal? Do you know what you're doing? Are you on anything? Did anyone give you anything in your jail? They probably even drug tested them just to make sure of it. I would have. But he gave an interview from prison. Kohberger said he filed a petition to reopen the case and that he blamed his plea on false promises and wrong information. What were they promising you? A jacuzzi in your jail cell? Conjugal visits? I mean, what would they promise you? What were they promising you? I'm curious. I want to know. Look at that Ladybug member for 31 months. I love you too, Ladybug. Thank you. Best on YouTube. You hear that? Ladybug said it. And welcome in, everybody. And Susan, thank you for becoming a new member. Thank you. Thank you so much. So, yeah. He's filed a petition. I love this. We're going to see the petition. Yeah. A post-conviction relief form was filed. Or maybe that's where it says an Idaho court filing show. I need to find that. Okay, we're going to find that. Wait, I have this here though. Okay, so maybe this is just this handwriting. Maybe the other one's in. Because it does say it like it's like printed on some of it. So maybe that we're going to look. If we don't have all the documents, we'll find them. Hey, TM. Welcome on in, everybody. Thank you for the 2 jewels, the silver star there, Mama Bear. I appreciate that. Thank you. You guys were too kind. Okay. So a post-conviction relief, that's what I was trying to remember earlier. The post-conviction relief form was filed Monday in Idaho court filing show. So there's a difference between an appeal and a post-conviction relief. Ethan Chapin, 20, Caitlin Gonzalez, 21, Xana Kernodle, 20, and Madison Mogan, 21, were fatally stabbed in the early morning hours of November 13th, 2022 in Moscow, Idaho. Kohberger was convicted last July after entering a guilty plea during which he publicly admitted to the 4 killings for the first time. In a stunning hearing a year ago, Kohberger admitted to killing the students. Are you pleading guilty because you are guilty? And I thought about pulling up that video when he pled guilty. Judge Hippler asked at that time, And he said yes. And nobody says ever that Bryan's a dummy, right? So I think that he knew what he was pleading to. He was then sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. I want to know what the hell the promises were. Like, seriously, what were you promised, man? They can't promise you anything. I mean, they could. I guess they could promise you. They could. I mean, technically, they can. They could promise you what prison you go to. You know, they could probably give you a couple more visits. There's things they could probably promise you, but your lawyer and the judge, no. I don't see that. She's already pissed. You know what I mean? Brent Turvey for coming out. So what's going to happen with that? So then he says he was sentenced to life. As part of his plea, Kohberger waived the right to appeal, but that does not preclude him from filing a new case challenging the validity of his plea agreement. My actual innocence is my truth. Here we go. Okay, so we're going to go back to the alibi. Where were you, Bryan Kohberger? You know, between the hours of 2 and 6, November 13th. And he's going to say, I was out driving around. Or is he going to come up with a new alibi that he can't produce evidence for? Because you got to produce evidence for you to have that alibi defense. And you have to have that. So, but his actual innocence is his truth. Oh my gosh, I can hear the pro-burgers now going, yeah, like cheers all around, you know. Hinged on, okay, so I'm going to read that again. My actual innocence is my truth, and the plea hinged on by false promises and blatant disinformation must be withdrawn. Kohberger said in a statement provided to the New York Times. Okay, why now? Why not when you were complaining about the bananas? Why not when you were complaining about Peru? Why not when all those things were happening? You didn't get enough on your food cart or your food tray. You've never put in anything until now. Why now? There's a reason for it, but we got to figure out what it is. So everybody in the chat, get your thinking caps on. Hey, Betsy. Betsy smart. Ozzy smart. Y'all are smart here. Well, Catherine, she's smoking, so maybe not her so much. She probably the best one. The Stargaze. Yeah. Oh, the weather was terrible. It was foggy, cloudy. Couldn't see a star in sight. No stars. But out driving around. The office of Ann Taylor, one of Kohberger's attorneys, declined to comment. Thanks, Jillian, by the way. Thank you for the $2. She said, I'm sorry. I'm bringing this out. I'm bringing this back out. I'm waving the red flag on that. Ann Taylor. You got to wake up, honey. Wake up. Get those, nice shoes back on. Get them stilettos back on. Get the, little cute bag you had. Get the little outfits ready. Get Bryan's shirts ready and, ties ready. Because he said he's going back to court. And apparently he's taking you with him. She said, so I'm telling you, okay, if this was, when I show you this, you're going to laugh. It's laughable. His handwritten, note, which I mean, Sarah Boone, they've all done it, but it's laughable that he had to have done this behind her back or something, or she's no longer his attorney, because she would have came out first. She would have never have let Kohberger be doing this. She would have came out and she would have, put in a motion the right way. I don't know. But the Latah County Prosecutor's Office is also not commenting. They're citing pending litigation Hey, Chris. Yeah, he's like, well, Bill Thompson's out there. They're like, yeah, we're just pending litigation. Idaho Attorney General Raul Labrador said in a statement to CNN that his office is ready to do whatever is necessary to ensure justice is fully carried out. My heart goes out to the families of Madison, Kaylee, Xana, and Ethan, who have already endured unimaginable loss and now must face today's deeply painful news. And I was going to pull up their Facebooks. I thought I saw something on my phone. I'll have it up for later. Because is Otto in here? Hey, Simply Sue. Hey, Isle of You. Welcome in. There's Otto. How you doing? Hey, Petals. I already said hi to you, but I'll say it again. Hello. And welcome in, everybody that I didn't say hi to. It's good to see you guys. So then it goes down to here. Cincinnati. CNN has reached out to the Ada County Prosecutor's Office. That's not even how we abbreviate Cincinnati in Ohio. Kohberger, a PhD student of criminology at nearby Washington State University, was charged with killing the 4 students in January 2023. He was arrested in Pennsylvania more than a month after the stabbings. He was charged at the end of December. Okay, whatever. In the small town that shocked the nation, forensic DNA testing from trash collected outside his family's home gave Idaho law enforcement the probable cause to take him into custody. Okay, it was the neighbor's trash, but they're getting it. Prosecutors had submitted a variety of evidence they say tied Kohberger to the crimes, including DNA found on a knife sheath on the bed close to Mogan. A single source profile was determined to be male, and detectives matched it to Kohberger through investigative genetic genealogy. I believe it was 14,000 skin cells were on there. Are you kidding? Really? Chunky? My cat just got up. I didn't think you'd want to go. As they prepared for trial, Kohberger's defense attorney said he was out driving alone on the night of the killings. And remember, right before trial, they were trying to get things suppressed and taken out and this and that and the other. And then they wanted to try to get the trial. They wanted to try to get more time. And Judge Hippler was like, no more time. This is when it's happening. And then all of a sudden, that's when the plea deal happened. So, I mean, to me, that seemed like that's the way that's the way the order and way things go. The case was delayed numerous times, including by a change of venue, frustrating the victims' families after previously pleading not guilty. Sorry, guys. Kohberger agreed to enter a plea deal to avoid the death penalty. I'm going to look and see if my cat's... Oh, he's looking at me. Hold on one second. Sorry, guys. Sorry. Let me go open the door. Okay, sorry about that. Okay. So, I did have a thing up. I had not a goal, but I'm going to make one, but you're not leaving now. Sorry, guys. I thought I had a poll. Oh, that was on the other live. So we'll put it on this one because this one actually will work better. Okay, so everybody, you go vote on that. And then I just got to do one more thing, and then we'll get back to regular scheduling regular broadcasting. Was it regular scheduling broadcast? Something like that. You know what I mean. Okay. So if anyone would like to join our channel membership, I'm going to pin this message at the top. That way you know where it's at. And then we're not reading documents. So okay, I knew I was going to cough again, so I didn't want to do that in your ear. So I'm trying to get down here. Okay, so basically if you're just now joining us, Bryan Kohberger is wanting to kind of do a change of plea, I guess you would say. I need to figure out what that word is. I keep forgetting it. No, a post-conviction relief. So he did a post-conviction relief form, and he filed that today in Idaho courts, and he actually wrote it out, and he filed that stating like that he wanted a new trial, and he wants to go back to trial. He wants to claim his innocence because things were promised to him that wasn't given to him. Okay, so let's just say that's right. Okay, things were promised to you if you took this plea deal, but if you were truly innocent, Bryan Kohberger, you would have said zero plea deal. I'm going to trial. I'm innocent. So in the scheme of things, in my opinion, he still is guilty. Because he said he was guilty. And what do you mean? What are they going to give you? A new car? Brand new house? What are they going to offer you for life in prison that's going to be worth it? You're going to be in prison. I don't know. So, and his mom even said in one of these interviews that she did that he didn't have friends. So I guess him having a partner is out. Just saying. So, I was trying to read some stuff to see if. Okay. Let's close that out and then we'll go over here. I wanted to read this article to you guys. I never read this, but it's from somebody that I kind of trust on X. So I wanted to read through it, but we'll read through that in just a second. Okay, we'll read through his little handwriting. So his affidavit of facts in support of post-conviction petition. And he's in the county of Ada. That's where the maximum security prison is located. Bryan C. Kohberger, and we know this is his handwriting because if you've seen it, you've seen it. Being first duly sworn on oath, deposes and says, "It is hereby declared that during attorney-client discussions, most of which included all members of Bryan C. Kohberger's immediate family, petitioner was convinced to falsely confess to capital murder and felony burglary." Okay. We'll read through this and then we'll read through it again. By coercion, disinformation, false promises, and the withholding of exculpatory discovery. The following is material to the inception of the plea. One, I think that's one, yeah. Counsel failure to inform petitioner of exculpatory discovery received during plea discussions, namely clumps of unknown hair found in Ethan Chapin's hands, as well as a failure of further inquiry. That's a lie, Kohberger, because he only had one piece of hand, one in each hand, or one piece of hair, two in total. We read just the other night, and they were his own hairs. His own hair. Not Kohberger's, not Xana's, not Kaylee's, not Maddie's, not the freaking guy down the road, Jack. Nobody's but Ethan's. So he somehow, I think this little guy right here is getting information from the outside somehow. And he's putting it in here. Because even if that, okay, what about the unknown blood? Like, why wouldn't he say something about that? The 3 unknown males. Why wouldn't he go back to that? Because they could test that. They still have it to test it. Is that it, Kohberger? This is something that they would no longer, you think that they would no longer have, so they couldn't test it. And then it would be like, oh, well, if it was this hair in his hands, it could have been any, you know what I mean? Like, I think a judge would say it's probably Xana's or his. And it wasn't a clump. It was one hair in each hand. One freaking hair. Like, I'm surprised there wasn't more. I'm just saying, there's only one in each hand. So, 2, petitioner was convinced that actual guilt was not an important factor in considering plea acceptance. What? Death row was imminent and advised a lie. What? Petition? What? Wait, what? It was not an important factor in considering plea acceptance. You would think that you would know better than that. Death row was imminent. Sorry, I keep talking. That's what I would read first. And advised a lie. Petitioner was to gain a legal victory in entering a false plea. That would do nothing for you. 3, a gross misrepresentation of and promises regarding what a life sentence would immediately afford petitioner, and a gross misrepresentation of death row in Idaho, including an elaborate fabricated story of, what's that say? Counselors? Horrific experience, touring an actual 8x8 death, row cell, all communicated to petitioner and his family, allegedly by IDOC through counsel, thus constituting threats and promises made to induce a plea agreement. Okay, we're gonna have to read that again because that's confusing. That was confusing. But did he crack in jail? Did you crack there, Kohberger? I think you cracked. Okay, I think you cracked because some of this stuff don't make no damn sense. Not to me, not to anybody. Yeah, Ozzy, that's what I'm thinking might be writing him. Like, to be honest, to be truthful, she's the only person in this whole world that would be like, you're innocent. Let me help you with my innocence company project, LLC. That's not real. Really. I mean, like, seriously, what the hell? The only part that gets me is the hair in Ethan Chapin's hands, because I know damn well there's only one hair in there. So somebody is sending him, like, somehow he's getting this information. Like, that just came out. Like, no, I mean, it's been out for a little while, but like, when did that really start like hitting like the internet? A few months ago? I mean, it would be around, I mean, right. He just wrote this today, so I'm about to be writing him and being like, who's telling you? Who's telling you the dumbest advice? Who's giving you the dumbest advice ever? Sarah Boone? Did Sarah Boone tell you to write this out? You get out of jail, write it out, just start writing stuff. See, I'm just wondering about the info. Let's read it again. Because, yeah. I want to know his immediate family was there, I guess, for all of this. And they were telling him to do it too. That's what he's saying. So it is hereby declared that during attorney-client discussions, most of which included all members of Bryan C. Kohberger's immediate family, meaning he's telling on his sisters, his mama, and his dad. He's saying they were all there during all of these attorney-client meetings. So they probably were zoomed in, I'm assuming, or on the phone. Petitioner was convinced to falsely confess to capital murder and felony burglary by coercion, disinformation, false promises, and the withholding of exculpatory discovery. The following, this is the exculpatory discovery, is material to the inception of the plea. I don't know what this word says. Does it say counselors? I bet that's what it says. Where was I at? Damn it. Counsels. That's what it says. Counsels. Failure. Sorry. I couldn't read that. To inform petitioner. So counsel's failure to inform petitioner of exculpatory discovery received during plea discussions, namely clumps of, unknown hair found in Ethan Chapin's hands, as well as a failure of further inquiry. So I don't know. It says counsel's failure to inform him being the petitioner of exculpatory discovery received during plea discussions. Was this like in any of the date lines or anything? Do you guys know? Oh, because I was going to watch their episode today with Brent Turvey. I didn't get to it. That was like 3 hours. I was like, oh my God. Really peddles and poison? Oh, do you think he does? I thought he said, do you know? I was like, whoa. I don't think he does. No, because he doesn't have internet. Mother and father are doing their work. They're doing the Lord's work, apparently. I was just reading the chat. Yeah, there is. TM, yeah, there sure is a new Netflix documentary, and oh my goodness, what are we going to find out? I was gonna watch. I didn't even watch the trailer for it yet. I bet you all have. I haven't, but I was going to last night and then I forgot. So, okay, I don't know. I want to know about the hair. Does anyone know who brought the hair out? Who was the first person to say about something about a clump of hair in Ethan's hands? Because I just heard it through you guys, I'm pretty sure. Because I really truly don't watch other other people that follow like Idaho 4. I really don't. And it's not any shade at all. I just don't. That's why I'm wondering, was it in the book? Was Turvey? Man, see, we were going to go PKC. We were going to go over Turvey stuff tonight. I'm about to go over that anyway. I'm so like, oh, because I won't be on for like a couple of days. Because that's weird. You know what I mean? So if he's out here talking about it, because I was going to get that damn new book too. And if that's when it seems like when it came out is when when the book hit with Chris Whitcomb, and then Brent Turvey came out with his little sidekick, and he had his things to say. I was listening to stuff today about it. I was trying to get more and know more in depth about the person before I talked about him tonight, because that's who we were going to cover. Oh, Joe Berlinger. I don't know who that is, but I bet if you say he does good work, I bet he does. So that's so crazy, because we read in the documents just like 2 nights ago, like literally 2 nights ago, maybe 3. We've been going through all of the sorry guys, all of the documents. Let me cough really quick. Sorry. I bet it's from reading all them documents, but we've been going over the 1,059 pages of documents, and on this channel we don't mess around. We go through Like, like everybody that's in there is all defense. They were going to be defense expert witnesses. So we wanted to read what they were going to say. So we've read through all of them, and each one gives us something new that we didn't know before. That's what it is for me anyway. And that was one of the big things was, one hair in each of Ethan's hands. And when they said at the bottom, who the major contributor was for that hair, it was DNA Ethan Chapin's. So it wasn't even like it was Xana's hair. Like it wasn't like he went like this on the bed and collected Xana's hair. If he did that, he collected like his own hairs. You know what I mean? And it's because he slept there all the time. Yeah. Well, I have up here too where Ann Taylor was upset with him about that. And I have up here where I'll show you real quick. Is this the right one? Yeah. Okay, so although the court, this is July 17th, this is right after Kohberger, pled guilty. And it says, although the court has filed or has lifted the non-dissemination order in this case, counsel and members of the defense team will not be making any statements or providing any information at this time or after the sentencing hearing. We will continue to keep our focus on Mr. Kohberger and comply with our ethical obligations under Rule 1.6 of Idaho Attorney Professional Conduct. Now, I wonder how long after somebody has been sentenced to life in prison do you have to be their lawyer? Like, are you their lawyer forever? Forever, ever? I mean, because didn't she move down to southern Idaho and opened up a practice? Like, isn't her practice not even in up here anymore? I'll probably let me see, lawyer. Let me put lawyer because it'll send me to Ann Taylor clothing. Let's see if it'll. Oh, it's Coeur d'Alene. Maybe so. Maybe she still is in Coeur d'Alene. Well, then she can go and hang out with Kohberger again. Do you think that she was finally? I'm just saying. Do you think after the trial she was finally like, man, I'm done with that guy? I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, it was a big case. It was a big trial. It was a big trial that was supposed to happen. And then all of a sudden it was like nothing. Like everybody went from, even the defense counsel and the prosecution, like they went from, building up their cases to all of a sudden like, oh, we're doing this. And, Bryan accepted that. I mean, Bryan accepted the plea. Now, when you go and you sign a plea deal, they ask you a lot of things. They give you a piece of paper that literally states verbatim what you're signing off to. And you have a choice to either sign that signature or go, nope, I'm going to go ahead and go to trial. And if I was him, I would have went to trial. I would have went to trial, even though he probably would have got life in prison. I don't think he would have got the death penalty. I think he would have got life in prison if he was found guilty. I personally do. I don't know. I feel like somebody on that trial or on that, jury panel, they might be like, he's 28, he's like, maybe he'll do something good in prison, or I don't know. They may say something like that. Yeah, she probably is missing that spotlight. She made what was it, 2 million, 3 million off this case? I mean, she made some millions. I mean, I'd be missing it, but I wouldn't be missing the client. Now, if I don't know what I was going to say. I just know that this case has been one thing after another since the beginning, with people, I don't know how to explain it. People trying to throw wrenches in the investigation, if you think about it, because the internet is a big place and the internet is a strong place, and the internet has a lot of hold on people. And just remember, like, when the Scream video came out and like the beginning of this case, right? Joseph Morris decided, with his platform of over 600,000 at the time, he decided to invert a domestic violence beating, and he put it into the Banfield video when it first came out. And then he said that was Kaylee screaming. It was horrific to hear, and you didn't know whether it was true or not, because you look at somebody with that big of a following and you're like, oh, well, that must be true. But think about the investigators. You got a bunch of people online that are going, oh my God, did you hear Kaylee screaming in that video? When in fact, it was bullshit. The video is debunked within like a second, but it was like, it's still out. And I mean, that information was still out there. Like, I don't know how, as an investigator, I don't know how they don't come forward and say, that's wrong, that's wrong, that's wrong. You know what I mean? I don't know. I wouldn't be able to keep my cool. I wouldn't. So this is about a psychopathic's personality. It's about Bryan Kohberger, but I don't know if I agree with it. So we're gonna read through. I'm just reading it to you guys. We're gonna read through it. But it says, a psychopathic personality, a deep psychological anatomy through the case of Bryan Kohberger. So Bryan Kohberger, who confessed to the brutal murder of 4 University of Idaho students, is possibly such a case, although we cannot always diagnose from afar. The eerie calm, the forensic planning, the emotional flatness, the fascination with criminology, and the history of heroin addiction all speak to a chilling configuration of the self, a personality organized not around feeling or connection, but around domination, contempt, and emotional deadness. This article unpacks the psychopathic personality in its full psychoanalytic depth, using Kohberger as a possible case example. We go far beyond DSM criteria or true crime speculation to explore how such a person is formed, how they function, and how their inner world, through incomprehensible to most, can be made intelligible through the lens of early trauma, defense, and objects relations. Okay. Let me use my chapstick really quick. That's true, PKC. They couldn't say anything. Yeah, that's when the conspiracies kind of took form, huh? I remember there was one. I've said this, I've told the story before, but there was one person on here. There was one creator, and she showed Jack DeCour's house. No one knew at the time where that kid lived. No one even needed to know where that kid lived, right? And this woman sitting right now is in her 60s. And she put it up on her channel and put an arrow to it and told people to go get him. What do you mean by that? Go get him. Come to find out, I mean, I think most of us knew, but he didn't have nothing to do with nothing. But the psychopathic personality is not just a cluster of antisocial behaviors. It is a persuasive and deeply embedded way of being in the world, a structure of self and other that reflects profound developmental failure. Key traits include, keep it a list and see if this is you. I'm just kidding. An absence of guilt, remorse, or empathy. I'd say he had that a little bit. I mean, just sitting there. I mean, literally, I wouldn't be able to do it. I'm sorry. I say it all the time, but I would not be able to do that. Just sit there and let people say that I did something that I didn't do, especially when it comes to murder, especially when it comes to murdering of 4 people in their home. Young college students, there would be no way. A manipulative, instrumental approach to relationships, shallow affect and poor frustration tolerance, sadistic pleasure and domination or deception, a grandiose self-image coupled with emotional detachment. But these traits are not simply evil. They are visible scaffolding of a deeper psychic collapse, a failure to develop a cohesive self capable of tolerating vulnerability, sustaining love, or metabolizing shame. So then it says, The psychopathic self, hollow, fragmented, and cut off from feeling. At the core of this personality lies a collapsed emotional interior. The person does not have a stable, meaningful internal world. There is little capacity for fantasy life, imagination, or symbolic richness. Instead, the inner world is flat, fragmented, and effectively numb. To manage this inner void, the person avoids affective states entirely, especially sadness, fear, or dependency, enacts power-based fantasies to feel alive, uses others as external props to stabilize an internal world that cannot hold itself together. There is no true self in the conventional sense. The internal structure is built around falsehood and manipulation because authentic feeling is either inaccessible or terrifying. I'd say inaccessible, but you know. I've always said that, like, with like, and I don't know if this is true when people are going nuts, like if you're going nuts, but like, you know, I feel like there's a time and a point where you feel like you're getting a little out of hand, and like, do you just like skip the shrink and then you go full on nutso? That's what I've always wanted to know. Because I know with me, like I feel like when I feel anxious, I know I feel anxious. You know what I mean? I know what I need to do to not feel anxious anymore. But if I didn't have like a psychiatrist or like, you know what I mean, go to therapy and I just let my anxiety like do its thing, would I eventually go nuts? Who knows? Who knows if you would? But you know what I mean? Like, is that how people go nuts? They don't get it like checked in time? Or is it something, I wonder if it just comes on so fast that you don't even know? It's just, I genuinely, that's a question I don't have. I'm going to ask my counselor, my psychiatrist. I'm going to say, how do we know when we're going crazy? Well, yeah, he definitely knew there was something wrong with him. I mean, he wrote it down. He wrote, he is a, you know, worthless sack of meat. I mean, he wrote it out. He wrote out how his family isn't going to see him in like 5 years or 6 years. But this was when he was like 16 or 12 or something when he wrote that. I remember he was so young when he wrote it, and it was like, well, that's not the right math. But he did say there would be a point in time where his parents and his family wouldn't see him anymore. So affect, tolerance, and emotional detachment. We'll see if any of these. So affect tolerance, the ability to experience and metabolize feelings is severely impaired. Unlike neurotic, as I say it, or even borderline personalities, the psychopathic person does not repress emotion so much as evacuates it. Emotional states are too threatening, too destabilizing. Huh. Okay. They don't repress emotions so much as they evaluate it. Okay. Rage replaces sadness. Contempt replaces fear. Control replaces longing. This creates an emotional monotone punctuated by sadistic pleasure or cold revenge fantasies. The person feels alive only when dominating, humiliating, or evading accountability. Maybe he's like, I'm ready to evade accountability again. Let's go back to trial. I just think it's weird that it took him a year. Why would you wait that long to write that one page and like a little bit on the second page, and we'll read it again before we leave so that way everyone gets to hear it. But why would you write that? I would have so much more to say. I would probably put it down to a page or two because you want people to read it. Okay, I get that. But I would have done that right when I hit the jail, the prison. I wouldn't have got that far because I wouldn't have killed nobody. But you know what I mean? If this was me and this is all happening to me and I was in jail, I was in prison, and I was like, damn, I didn't mean to say I was guilty. I didn't know what guilty meant. I didn't know that guilty meant I'm spending the rest of my life in jail because I killed 4 people. What else do I think would happen to me? He's a smart person. He almost got his PhD. He didn't. Yeah, he didn't know most, you know what I mean? But he was in school for it. So he knows. Do you know why you're pleading guilty today? And he said, yep. And they went through each count with him. For Maddie to Ethan and the two in between, you know, and he said, yeah, yep, I did it. Yep. I mean, there would be no way in hell on this earth. You can't, and don't say because of the death penalty, okay? Because I don't even believe he would have got that. And even, there's no way on this green earth I would ever say that I did something that I did not do, especially murder. Especially. I think that he didn't want to go to trial. This is my personal opinion because he didn't. I guess now he don't care, but I think before he didn't want mother or father to see some of the things that they would see. And I think now that he knows that it's all out there, all the crime scene photos, all the things that he didn't want his mother to see, especially his mother. I think that he doesn't care. He's like, okay, let's go back. Let's go. I don't want to do, I want to go back to trial now. You know what I mean? There's too much stuff that's been put out. Like, you know what I mean? I think that's what it is. That's just my personal opinion. Hey, Margo. So, remember when Letitia Stout said she had borderline personality disorder and she'd come into court? Sorry, I don't mean to laugh. It's not a laughing matter if you really have it. I don't believe she doesn't, and she's not been diagnosed. But she would come in with like a different hairstyle or like a different, she'd be flipping the cameras off one day and like it, she tried to act like she had it. Like, I want to see Kohberger try to act like he has it. He's not saying he does, but okay. Oh, and no, I don't believe anyone did this with Bryan Kohberger. You name one person that he had, one friend he had. Also, one thing too, now that I got y'all here, all the creators that are saying he's innocent, okay, that have been saying that, why haven't they contacted the Innocence Project or any of their local legislation or anything to try to get him out? I'm just curious. If they have, let me know because I'd love to know so I can go check that live out. Okay. So it says this creates sorry, I read that part. Kohberger's post-crime behavior, returning to the scene, participating in online conversations about the murder, and showing no remorse. I don't know if he did the conversations, but fits this pattern. His crime was not an emotional explosion, but an emotional solution, a way to organize a deadened internal world around an active ultimate control. Oh, sorry. Defensive operations, how the personality protects itself. The psychopathic structure is defended by some of the most primitive psychological defenses. Denial, not just the internal realities, but the inner states. I'm not afraid. I don't care. They deserved it. Projection, unwanted traits, weakness, neediness, inferiority are projected onto others who are then punished for them. I don't know if this is it, if he has any of these, but potent control. I'll not say that word. Sorry. The world becomes a stage for asserting dominance. The person must control perception, narrative, and outcome. Let me see if this will tell me how to say this. Omnipotent. Devaluation. Others are idealized briefly, then discarded as contemptible. Splitting, good and bad are rigidly separated. People are all useful or all disposable. Okay. They really was like getting it down there. Object relation and relational style. The internalized world of the psychopathic person is populated not by complex, loving others, but by cruel figures who humiliate or abandon. Abstracted objects of use, competitors in a dominance hierarchy. Relationships are either instrumental or adversarial. There is no capacity for mutuality, tenderness, or sustained intimacy. Kohberger's interpersonal style reportedly involved condensation, detachment, and intimidation, hallmarks of a relational world organized around one-upmanship and cold distance. He probably was a one-upman. Like, he didn't like it when people said, what was it? Mansplaining. He did not like mansplaining. So he probably would not like I said that, but yeah. Others become mirrors to reflect his superiority, tools to advance his image, or threats to be neutralized. His interest in criminology, far from being academic, may have served his inner need to master power and escape vulnerability. I think that was the only thing that he was really interested in, because he was interested in like his whole life, it seemed like. Not like his whole life, but when he got into high school, he wanted to go into, the program that like helps you, become like a cop or whatever. And he got kicked out of that because of something to do with some of the students in the class. He was being, he was doing something to some people in the class. I'm not gonna say women because they could have been men, but I'm going towards girls for that. Where are we at? Oh, heroin addiction plays a central role in understanding Kohberger's inner world. For the psychopathic personality, substances are not about euphoria or rebellion. They're about survival. Heroin in particular acts as a synthetic attachment figure. It soothes the raw nervous system. It quiets the unnameable terror that lies beneath grandiosity. It substitutes for maternal containment in a person who likely never experienced it. Addiction here is not corroborative. I don't know that. Why are they giving me words I don't know how to spell or say? Comorbid. What's that mean? Denoting or relating to, it says diseases or medical conditions that are simultaneously present in a patient. Okay. It is a functional adaptation, a chemical means of organizing a psyche too disorganized to self-soothe. That as the drug loses its potency, the person may seek stronger methods of stimulation, enactments of domination, including murder. Yeah, new word. Everybody use that today. I used to do that when I would read words I couldn't say. I'd be like, "No, everybody use that in a sentence today." So, I mean, yeah. But usually when the drug loses its potency, don't people just get like more of it? Or they go off to something else? I mean, I don't know if I would be like, I'm going to go murder somebody because the heroin ain't hitting like it used to. I don't know if we can say that on YouTube. They're going to give me. Oh, yeah, it doesn't have to be a friend, but it has to be somebody that would be willing to, go down for murder with them. I mean, and if we're to believe that Bryan only left skin cells on the underside of a knife sheath, this person left nothing, or persons. I don't believe it. I don't know. It's just hard to believe for me. But, you never know, I guess. I mean, you never know. You never know. You never know. I just don't, I mean, even his dad was like, "Will you be my son's friend?" I bet that was embarrassing. I'm sorry. I could just see his dad walking in, like all proud, like, like, "Hey, I think I found you a friend." So, Kohberger's shift from heroin used to brutal, calculated violence may represent not a breakdown, but a logical next step in the collapse of a psyche that can no longer regulate itself. Violent fantasies into the psychopathic mind do not arise from simple hatred or impulse. They are often meticulously constructed internal worlds, the only place where the person feels powerful, coherent, and real. In such fantasies, victims are depersonalized. The self is potent. Okay, I can't say the word still. The violence is not emotional, it's ritualized. The act of killing then is not rage, it is a performance of identity, a way to transcend the internal void. Kohberger stalking behavior, planning, and post-crime monitoring suggests this kind of enactment, not of passion, but of grandiose restoration. His victims were not targets of hate. They were chosen to animate his false self. Psychopathic individuals rarely seek therapy voluntarily. When they do, the treatment situation becomes a psychological battlefield. The therapist is idealized, tested, then devalued. Attempts at empathy are dismissed or mocked. Oh man, can you imagine being actually a therapist? Didn't even think about that. The therapist may feel manipulated, enraged, or depersonalized. Can you imagine being like you're just sitting in your office one day, you're doing your psychology things, and they like you get a patient not talking about Bryan, but I'm just talking about like a patient in general that is like multiple personalities. I mean, I guess you would have to, I'm sure when you go to school, they would have to teach you sort of like when someone shifts to another personality. But I would always be afraid they were getting one over on me or something. I'd be like, you messing with me, bro? I really would. I wouldn't be able to know. I mean, I probably would. I would, because I'm good at knowing when people are lying, but like not when you got 15 personalities. I never thought about that. So these reactions are not failures. They're all data. They reflect an internal world of the patient. Therapy often fails because the individual leaves before true contact is made. But in rare cases, sustained work can uncover buried pain, frozen mourning, and unacknowledged terror. Even so, the therapist must be extraordinarily grounded, not just empathetic, but clinically astute. To treat the psychopathic personality is not to correct behavior, but to grieve a self that never fully formed. It's kind of sad in a way. I mean, listen to my empathetic heart. I'm over here like, oh, his feelings didn't get validated enough. They didn't fully form. The psychopathic personality can sometimes be confused with other personality structures, particularly because certain outward behaviors such as impulsivity, emotional flatness, or interpersonal manipulation can also appear in other disorders. The psychopathy is distinct in both structured and motivation. Understanding what it is not as essential to recognizing what it is. He should have been made allocute. Yeah, call him a crime. I don't know why he didn't. I don't know why they didn't make him do that. Because, I mean, that would have been a lot simpler than the last year. That, you know what I mean? Like going through paperwork, doing this, doing that, you know what I mean? Like I still would want to go through all that stuff, but I would like for him to have been like, this is why I did it. This is how I did it. This is where I started. I mean, we all know, but I just want to, this is exactly how it happened. All the things. I don't know. I wish we knew. I wish they would have given us a better answer on why he didn't have to allocute because they didn't give us a real good answer at all. Maybe we could go to like one of old Thompson's band practices or like one of his like little band, shows, and we can all hold up signs. Why didn't you make Kohberger allocute? Okay. I would do it. So versus narcissistic personality. Both narcissistic and psychopathic individuals may appear grandiose, exploitative, and emotionally detached, but there are crucial differences. Narcissistic personalities often seek admiration and validation. Their self-esteem is fragile, and they are prone to shame. Underneath their grandiosity is a yearning for love and acknowledgement. Psychopathic personalities, by contrast, are not motivated by the need for approval. They do not seek closeness, and shame is not prominent in their psychic landscape. Their core defense is not inflated self-regard, but emotional disengagement and omnipotent control. In Kohberger's case, his lack of visible emotional distress, his cold detachment from others, and his ability to plan and execute a murder without remorse suggest a structure more fundamentally psychopathic than narcissistic. Borderline individuals are often emotionally intense. So that goes through all that. It says that they're intense, volatile, and terrified of abandonment. Their relationships are stormy but emotionally meaningful. They tend to experience extremes of love and hate, and though they may act impulsively or even aggressively, they often do so out of emotional desperation. So then you've got the versus antisocial behavior without structural personality disorder. Not everyone who breaks the law is psychopathic. Some individuals engage in criminal behavior due to socioeconomic desperation. Now I want to know what that means. Well, this isn't a, oh no, it didn't give me a actual definition. So it comes from trauma, substance dependence, or peer pressure, but maintain intact relationships, capacity for guilt, and access to remorse. And in these cases, antisocial behavior reflects adaptation to circumstances, not a deep characterological disorder. Psychopathy, on the other hand, is a persuasive personality style. Sorry, plane's going overhead. I didn't know what that was. Not just an action pattern. It shows up in how the person thinks, relates, feels, and structures their internal world across situations and over time. Okay, so Kohberger's crime was not opportunistic or reactive. It was planned and active with emotional coldness and followed by a calculated re-immersion into normal life. These patterns point to a psychopathic structure, not just a criminal behavior. Conclusion. Bryan Kohberger is guilty of an unspeakable act, but to understand him only as a killer is to miss the deeper tragedy, the creation of a person who could kill without feeling. His inner world would likely include early emotional abandonment, a false self constructed around superiority, addiction as a stand-in for soothing, a fantasy of violence as transcendence. I think the heroin stuff, personally, I think I don't know. There's probably not like a whole lot to do up there, and that's probably what he did to like pass the time. I think he just met up with the wrong people, and that's what he did. I mean, you know what I mean? That's what I think. I don't think it was for like, I'm sure that he did it and it helped him mentally, feel good for that moment and not have to think about things or whatever was going on in his brain, because we saw it in his Tap Talk, post and everything. But I don't think that it was like a stand-in for soothing. I think his mama soothed him too damn much. Personally, I think his dad was the one that was more of the no, we're not doing this shit no more, Marianne. And I don't like the name Marianne, and you guys know why if you were here for the medal, for the titanium live. If you weren't, then you just don't know what we were talking about then. Psychopathy is not evil in the moral sense. It is a psychic death of an emotional self, often long before physical violence ever occurs. Understanding the structure helps us identify those at risk, not just to commit harm, but to disappear behind their own mask. It helps us intervene earlier, sets clearer limits, and remains awake to the signs of a personality so defended it cannot feel. Kohberger is not a mystery. He is a mirror, a reflection of what happens when emotional life dies in childhood and is resurrected only through power, pain, and fear. Okay. He's a clinical psychologist in Newport Beach, California. I don't know. You'd be living in the nice life, though. You'd be living in a nice area. Is Matcha Chi here? I didn't see. West Virginia Rock Writers read your thing. It's funny. How can he do that? Because there was someone in between him, Margo? I'll throw up. We need someone different. One of his sisters, yeah. Well, one of his sisters even came out and was like talking about it. So, yeah, I love you. I've been to both. My other half is from California, so yeah, it was nice to meet him. Now I get to go to California. Now, what was I reading before? Okay. So I guess they usually do it this way. Habeas corpus. So, or no, I guess you can do post for state filings. I was trying to figure out how many people, like how many inmates file for, post conviction relief, but it was just says thousands. Like it didn't tell me like one out of this many. That's what I was like kind of looking for. Maybe I could put like percentage. Exact national tracking data. Okay. It does not exist. Well, it should exist. There we go. Somebody get on top of that. That could be like some money, Hey, hanky panky mom. Hey, Kirst. Did you get off work? Yeah, he's playing games with the families. Yeah, and the survivors. Oh my goodness, can you imagine? Dylan and Bethany are both survivors of this case. But when I think of Dylan, my goodness, that poor girl is probably sleeping with her mom again tonight. I know, Margo. What the heck? Let's all go. We're all going to Washington. I can't believe he wrote that big long paper about being framed. Yeah. I'm just reading the chat. Well, if he spilled the beans about his accomplices, he could have done that anytime. He could have told Ann Taylor that, though. I love you, okay. I know this is just me again. If, let's say, me and Ladybug go do a crime together, right? And I get caught for that crime. I'm just going to let you know, Ladybug, you going down with me. You're going down. If it's murder of 4 college students, you're going down with me. I ain't going by myself. I ain't doing it. I am not going to be with Peru by myself eating the nasty bananas, not getting my extra vegan tray. I'm bringing Ladybug with me, Oh, yeah. It'll be beautiful to look at and watch. Thank you for the high five, Margo. And thank you for the $2, Julian. Yeah. I haven't seen anybody online yet. Are they online? Are they all doing it? Are they? Okay. Let's read his paper again. I don't even think I got through the whole paper last time, did I? We was laughing and stuff. I don't even think we did. Okay, let's just go. Sometimes I squirrel out. You're in Northern California. He's Southern California. Vincent was Southern California. Well, LA. So I think that's Southern. Yeah, Southern. And then we could see. Oh gosh, I can't even. There's just. We might have to go through the Twitter one night. Okay, so it says Ada County. If you weren't here before, this is Bryan Kohberger's affidavit of facts in support of post-conviction petition. He does not have any appeals necessarily. But he does have post-conviction petition or help available, and that's for if you have things of like ineffective assistance of counsel and stuff like that. Well, he's throwing the noodles at the wall. Okay, so It is hereby declared that during attorney-client discussions, most of which included all members of Bryan C. Kohberger's immediate family, and I'm thinking if that's why, okay, I'm thinking if he put that in there on that, he put that in there on purpose, okay? So to me, it's almost like he's saying, if you guys try to lie and say what I'm going to say next isn't true, my family is going to back me up. And they were on those phone calls also. Does that make sense? Because not my boy. You know what I mean? Not my boy. Yeah, Steve's going to be furious. Yeah, we got to read his thing. Oh, yeah, they did one. So we're going to read it right after this. Okay. So then it says, petitioner was convinced to falsely confess to capital murder and felony burglary by coercion, disinformation, false promises, and the withholding of exculpatory discovery. His exculpatory discovery is non-existent. Okay, it's in the documents. I know that everyone's gonna say, well, you know, Moscow police, or they're just wrong. Okay, well, that's not just Moscow police. It's about 10 agencies, so can't do that. But this is the exculpatory evidence. The following is material to the inception of the plea. Counsel's failure to inform petitioner, him, of exculpatory discovery received during plea discussions, namely clumps of unknown hair found in Ethan Chapin's hands. Ethan Chapin's own hair. 2 pieces of hair, 1 hair in each hand. And they were Ethan's. As well as a failure of further inquiry. Well, I'm telling you right now, Kohberger, there's your further inquiry. 2 hairs, Chapin's. Petitioner was convinced that actual guilt, so he was convinced, right, that actual guilt was not an important factor in considering a plea acceptance. Death row is intimate and advised to lie. Petitioner was to, what does it say? Wait, was to gain a legal victory in entering a false plea. How you went to school for this shit, okay? You cannot, no, Kohberger, no. You can't, I mean, you went to school for criminal justice. You know what a lie is. And this is all lies. This is a lie. You're a whole damn lie. Like, you know, okay, so you think that you putting in a guilty plea to 5 counts, 4 counts of murder and 1 burglary, you thought maybe you were going to walk out of there at the end of the day? You thought, oh, surely they're not going to, send me to life without parole, even though that's what we've been talking about. Even worse, the death penalty, So number 3, a gross misrepresentation of and promises regarding what a life sentence would immediately afford petitioner, and a gross misrepresentation of death row in Idaho. See, now he's talking about, what it is, life sentence. So basically what they did with Kohberger is they took him to the back and they put him on ice, okay? Because he cannot be in general population at the moment. They will kill him. They will kill him. Or they will kill him. That there's no or. He will not make it out. Because they don't come rushing into your aid when you're getting your ass beat by other inmates. They wait for the inmates to back off, kind of get tired out, or they'll go in with their spray cans, with their stuff. But if they don't have anything, they're not going to jump on in with nothing. They ain't got a gun. They ain't got a baton. They ain't got nothing. They're just chilling. No, they ain't going to do that. So They have him on ice. He's mad about that. He thought if he was going to have a life sentence instead of the death penalty, that he'd be in general population with his commissary and his buddies he thinks he's going to get. But right now, he's in a death row kind of situation where he's in his cell 23 hours a day. You know, he is in that kind of a setting as for right now. It's called segregation, Kohberger. They got to segregate you. They can't put you in with the fishies because you'll be swimming with the fishies if you go in to general population, you know. But thank you so much, Margot. Look at that. Thank you for gifting 5 memberships. Let me see who got them. PJ, Hanky Panky Mom, Zep, 6'7", Jade Hunter, Sweetly Psychotic. Look at that. And I mean, if you think about it, they haven't put anybody to death in forever. They didn't until like recently. So then it says, including an elaborate fabricated story of counsel's horrific experience touring an actual 8x8 death row cell. So who did that? What? Counsel's horrific experience. That had to be Ann Taylor or one of her people, because all the people on the prosecution, I'm sure they've been in death row before. You know what I mean? Like, but it says to petitioner and his family allegedly, by IDOC through counsel, thus continuing or constituting threats and promises, made to induce a plea agreement. So, okay, let me read that part again. I'm going to start from back here, like number 3. So number 3, a gross misrepresentation of and promises regarding what a life sentence would immediately afford petitioner, and a gross misrepresentation of death row in Idaho, including an elaborate fabricated story of counsel's horrific experience touring an actual 8x8 death row cell, all communicated to petitioner and his family, allegedly by IDOC through counsel, thus constituting threats and promises made to induce a plea agreement. I'm going to read this again. So he's saying that they fabricated a story of counsel's horrific experience. I never heard the story. Did anyone else? I mean, of her going to the jail and her being like, it's so horrific. I don't remember that. Yeah, he had his chance. Trial. I know you can't just change your mind all of a sudden because you're bored, Kohberger, after a year. I would be bored too in jail. After I was thinking about him the other day, I was like, damn, you know, he didn't do any research, Julian. I mean, I wish he could watch the channel. I think I might actually take this and frame it just for funsies. Now let's hear what Steve. I bet this is Christy maybe talking, maybe not so much Steve, because you know me, Steve would probably be on fire. I'm sure they're all on fire, but you know, it's gonna be a long. Oh, it's not too long. I'm like, it's gonna be a long one, but I would read it. I wouldn't care. Okay, so. This is the Gonzalez family page. This is going to be, I'm sure everybody knows, but this is Kaylee's family. Now, before we get to this, there was a picture. Look at this picture of Steve and his girls really quick. Look at his beauties, he says. Isn't that a beautiful picture? Beautiful. Okay. Now we're going to read what happened today. First off, we are not surprised, even though Bill Thompson said with the plea deal, all appeals would be waived. We knew that wasn't factual. Anyway, his time to appeal was running out, September to be exact. Gonzalez family statement. The mosquito you just can't seem to swat. That is what Kohberger and his following have become to this family. We read Mr. Baker's story, and he must be so proud of himself for speaking with Mr. Kohberger. Who's Mr. Baker? Who's Baker? Tell me. Okay, someone tell me. Okay, must be so proud of himself for speaking with Mr. Kohberger because the story didn't have much else in it other than a guilty man claiming he is innocent once again. Nothing in the story or in Kohberger's statement does he allude to the fact that he did not knowingly, voluntarily, and intelligently admit to murdering the 4 victims of this tragedy, Kaylee, Maddie, Zan, and Ethan. Quite to the contrary, he appeared in court in a hearing in front of a judge with his 4 lawyers. He did this after deciding not to leave his fate and the facts of the case up to a jury to decide his guilt. Bam. He never cried wolf or claimed he was uninformed, pressured, or that there was issues with the discovery that he and his counsel had for 2 years that he thought should have been challenged. He admitted to guilt and asked whether he actually was He admitted to guilt and asked whether he actually was guilty, and he said yes. I am sure there will be a hearing, as that is how the legal process works, and the defendant will get another day in court. A nice break from his solitary confinement, getting to go for a ride, and maybe some different food, photos taken, and the attention all back on him and his innocence. The real issue is that if as much energy was put into honoring the victims in this case as trying to set a guilty man free, there would be statues of the victims on every corner and parks and days honoring their ultimate sacrifice. Wanted to make sure everyone heard that. The real issue is that if as much energy was put into honoring the victims in this case as trying to set a guilty man free, there would be statues of the victims on every corner with parks and days honoring their ultimate sacrifice, their lives, at the hands of a narcissist. Regardless of how this turns out, our family is 100% ready. An actual trial this time, let's go. We are confident he will get the death penalty that he escaped by pleading guilty the first time around. Just an absolute waste of time and taxpayers' money. It's a disgrace. So we're moving on. LOL. I love that she put LOL. I guess I better get me a Death Row Records shirt for every day of the week now. Can I get some of them too? Can I get some of them? Can we get some shirts? Can we get some shirts made? Right, Manjachi? I didn't realize you could plead. Thanks for the $4.99. And then just say, just kidding, prison's hard. Yeah. But basically, so he goes in Peru, right? Peru. Then he's not getting his vegan meals. Then we hear about the bananas, which I don't know if the bananas was true because I might have came from Chris McDonough. And you know how he be not true about some stuff sometimes. But still, the bananas, I'm ready to go. Let's go to trial tomorrow. Just don't. Oh, I have trials coming up, actually. You can just wait your turn, Kohbergs 163-214. But they will have a hearing for him, I'm sure. Which kind of sucks. I mean, because the Gonzalez's are right. It's just another day, a chance for him to get noticed, get his picture taken, get his fans going, ooh, I don't understand it. I never will. But it's just another day for them to do that. So maybe, how about this? If he had a partner in crime in all this, now's the time to tell it. I wish I could ask a couple questions. Not sure he doesn't have to prove his innocence, but he definitely had effective counsel. He had the best of the best. He said she was great. He said, all the things about, man, them two. I got so many pictures of them too. I got actually a lot of pictures of Bryan Kohberger in jail. But look at him walking into her. Yeah. This is one of the first court hearings. Look, he's like, I love her. I love her. Not so much on that one. Where's her at? Oh, look, this one's a good one. How about this one? This one? They can borrow some of these if they want to. Oh, do I not have the one of Jay? Oh, I got to have the one of Jay. Oh, I do. That's the one of him looking at Ann and Jay's looking at his butt. That one ain't good. Jay left after that. He was like, "You're out, you're out, boo." I do have a lot of pictures of Kohberger. This one, look, that's probably the one that creeped me out the most, just because like his hands do not move. I mean, I'd be all over the place, but that's just me. If he were to prove his innocence, I don't think any of you or the G's would apologize. No, I don't. He doesn't need to hear an apology from me. Bryan Kohberger doesn't want an apology from me. He doesn't want you to help him. You and your buddies that say, let's solve this crime. Sorry, guys. It's solved. He said he was guilty. Just because he's saying now that he's not guilty, who wouldn't? Who wouldn't? But when people are going, let's solve the case. You guys need some therapy when you say stuff like that, when I hear stuff like that. I'm not saying you said it, but I'm saying people be saying that. People be saying it. Thank you for the laughing disco, Margo. I'm just saying he's never asked for help. He's never contacted the Innocence Project. No creator on here that I know of. Can someone name me a creator that has contacted the Innocence Project on behalf of Bryan Kohberger? And you've seen documentation of that. Or they've written their local legislation or Idaho legislation or anybody. Has anyone seen that? Because I've only seen, let's figure this case out when it's already solved. Are people going to be saying the same stuff in 10 years? I don't know. I'm just saying, let's go to trial. But I probably wouldn't say I was sorry because I'm freaking stubborn like that. Now, if you would have reworded that differently, reworded that differently, narcissistic, that's narcissistic behavior. You have no idea, honey. I'm the biggest narcissist you'll ever meet then. Okay. No, but yeah, no one wants to save them. But it's like all these people want to jump on these panels, do all these panels and talk about them or talk about other videos, but they don't read documents or anything like that to tell you guys anything. They just tell you guys what they think you guys want to hear. And it's all misinformation, disinformation, because it's purposely being put out there. And then it comes back to my chat. And then I'm over here going, what the hell is going on? Because I don't watch it. But if you ask Bryan, when you talk to Bryan next, Matt, ask him, say, do you want Titanium Built's apology? And I bet Kohberger is going to say, no, I don't care about her apology. I mean, really. I think he found out that there's some people online, like about 1,000 to 2,000 people that think he's innocent, but none of these people would actually tell that to their mama. Go tell that to your mama. Go tell your mom you think Bryan Kohberger, the guy that confessed to killing 4 kids out in Idaho, I think he's innocent, Mom. What would be the number one thing that would make him innocent? I'm wondering. Yes, Vegas. Your mommy agrees with you? Well, oh man, that means she's out there giving her hard-earned money. Oh man, don't do that, Matt's mom. Matt's mom. She's probably giving all of her money to all those people, you know what I mean? You know how when I talk about them, you know, I hope not. The audio is fake AF. The only audio is the audio that we've been given. Okay. You guys will believe anything. Okay. I got to get off here because sometimes when I read the chat, I get a little upset because y'all will believe anything. I will watch this. I will get some paint. Actually, I will, because we're going to paint this wall over here. And I am going to make a video, and I'm going to just one streak that wall with this color paint, and I'm going to watch it dry. And I'm going to post that video for y'all, because you guys will get more out of that video than you will with these creators. They're messing with you guys. They're messing with the audio, and then they're putting it out, and they're fucking with you all. And they know they are. They've been messing with you guys for years. That's why they don't go to another case. You never see them talk about another case, because they won't, because they're messing with y'all. They're taking your money. Don't make assumptions about me there, Matt. And I'm not a weirdo. I'm saying older people get taken advantage of by people on this application. And you cannot tell me that they don't. So he's guilty of sin. I'm just saying, I mean, I know that people think that he's innocent. I just like it when you have like a reason, like a good reason, like something. Other than, you better tell him you're sorry if he gets a new trial or gets out, or he's never getting out. Okay. If he gets out, it'll be the day that I'm dead. I need to. Thanks. Don't have a pay channel. No, I'm saying a lot of people get into those where they're paying the channels, and they're giving them lots and lots of money, and they get into that. I'm just saying my mother would be the same. That's why my mother is not allowed around a computer. If she was alive, she would not be around a computer, because that woman would have given her last dollar to somebody, because she would have fallen for their sad fishing story. That's what I mean by it. Because my mom would have been like that. I just think of older. I don't know. I would think of older women. I want to protect the older women. I always feel like I want to anyway. I really do. That's what I meant by it. Didn't mean anything bad by it. I meant by, like, I know, because I used to listen to a lot of these channels that cover Idaho 4, because hello, Idaho 4, when it was fresh, I was listening to everything, and you would hear the sad stories. Oh, my car broke down, or, oh, I can't get gas to go to work this week, or my kid needs money for Roblox, or like, and I don't like that. I don't like that. They are easy to grift from. They're the easiest, I feel like, because my mom would feel bad. My mom would be like, oh, his car broke down, even though it didn't. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I'm just saying, like, in general, like, and I would have to be the one there, like, give me the credit card. It's not physically impossible, Matt. Yeah. That's true, Betsy. That's crazy, Margot. I haven't mine on there today. This is the first time I've had my actual thing on here. That banner, I forgot I even had it up. This is the first night. Go check out any of my videos. You'll see it. You'll never see it. Vincent hates that banner. I can take the banner down now, but he does. He hates it. He's like, Tanya, those banners. Oh, like, that's for my boutique. But yeah, like he's like, take the banners down. He likes a clean look, and I like how he likes so. He doesn't make me do it, but he's always like, the banners are like, he's one of those people, like, like, we're good. So, lawyer, the hair part. Okay. Ethan had 2 hairs in his hands, one in each hand. We read these documents night before last. I am going to go find them damn documents. Ethan had a hair in each hand, and it was his own hair. We read it in the documents 2 or 3 nights ago. We just read it. Because we've been reading over the defense's expert witnesses. These are the defense's experts, and the defense expert said that. So you think, Matt, a whole different person did this? Not that he had help, that a whole different person did this. But they left his sheath there. He had a lot of time to clean up. Yeah, he did. It was 6 weeks. 6 weeks to clean up. I want a trial. I mean, I wouldn't mind one. I would stream the hell out of that trial. You already know I would. I'd be up at ass crack of dawn. Let's do it. I never came at you and your mom. I just said that older people get taken advantage of by creators. Matt, you want to come up here? This is for Matt. There you go, Matt. Come up and yell at us. So at a minimum, he didn't do it alone, but that person didn't leave any trace in their vehicle either. I'm confused. You can just clean up DNA. Yeah, you can. Bleach kills DNA. Right there. Bam. I went to school for criminal justice, Matt, and applied science. I'm not a freaking idiot up here, okay? I'm not a freaking idiot. I love that when people are like, they like question what I say, and question what I say. Question it all day. Damn, question me all day, because I love that. But don't tell me that you can't do something when you obviously you can. But yeah, I am gonna find that thing about Ethan's hands, the hair, because when we read that, I was like, like, you know what I mean? I fell out of my chair, because I was like, what? Because we have been hearing for like, a few months or a couple months now that there was like a clump of hair in Ethan's hands, and they didn't know who that hair belonged to, and blah blah. But it was like, no, it was one hair in each hand, and it was Ethan's hair. And I think it was like, I think it was the first one we went on, like the first time that we read. We're on 257. I think it was like when we first started reading, but I know I won't be able to find it. But I was highlighting things, or like, you know what I mean? Give me like 2 seconds. If I can't find it, then I'll find it later and I'll post it. Okay. There's. Does it say Ethan here? I'm like looking to see it, like. This seated and smoking in its office. We're in the same bed. And then it says Dylan. Okay. That's not where it was. I'll have to find it. If anyone remembers what timestamp that was, if you guys, if anyone watches that live and you find the timestamp, you let us know. Because it was like, these are talking about the swabs. I just feel like I'll miss it because I'll be reading too fast. Maybe it's once. I feel like it's like right here, but it's probably not. See it, coronal. Yeah, I have to find it. Because I can't remember if it was. I mean, it looks like it would be this because they're talking about the hair. Hold on, did I find it? Hold on. I didn't. They're talking about the half wall. Well, dang it. I'm going to have to find this because, I mean, I wonder if I wrote down the page. No. Right here. This isn't. This is just his right hand, but I know it was both hands. Did you hear that? That's wow. Fingernail clippings. Those were his. Hair from the left sock was his. Okay. Okay. So right here. FBI lab item number 3. Oh, y'all can't see it. I'm glad I looked. Get up here on the stage. Taking forever. There we go. Okay. And I'm going to put me back here so you can see this right here where it is and highlighted in blue. Okay. And I'm going to take you on a little road trip with this. So FBI lab item number 3, 1 hair from the right hand, consistent with decedent Chapin's own reference hair, dissimilar to defendant's reference hair. Okay. So Chapin's hair, 1 hair from the right hand. You see that? Everybody see that? Put a 1 in the chat if y'all can see that. Put a "We hate you" T-Bone in the chat. That's what they used to call me in high school. If you're mad at me. Oh, I never said you said the clean DNA. Okay, so that's 1 hair. Are you looking at this, Max? I want you to tell your friends too. Okay, I want everyone to see this. And then we've got where was I at? FBI lab item 33, 1 hair from bag covering decedent Chapin's left hand when his body was transported for autopsy. 1 hair. 1 hair. Consistent with decedent Chapin's own reference hair. Dissimilar to Kohberger's. So you've only got, unless Ethan's got a 3rd arm. Unless Ethan has got a 3rd arm, we have only got. Put me back up there. I'm like, where am I at? We only got 1 hair here, 1 hair here, and they're both Ethan's. You know what I mean? So when Kohberger is saying clumps of hair and they're keeping this exculpatory evidence from him, no, they're not. Who told you that, Kohberger? Because it wasn't your defense counsel. And it wasn't the prosecution. Was it Lana? I don't know if you would listen to her. Who could it have been? Who was it? Was it Matt? I'm just saying, like, someone, I don't know. I feel like someone's telling him stuff. Who's telling him stuff? Have a good day, PJ, or have a good night now. Oh, it's raining out there bad. Well, it's supposed to rain. It's like 35%, I thought, or like 20%. But if you guys don't mind, will you hit the like button for me? I really appreciate that. If you want to become a member of our channel, I'll, well, I won't paste that in the thing because I already have something else pasted in there. I think it's actually, oh, it's pinned. So if you'd like to become a member, we have it pinned. We'd love you to become a member. I feel like I like chapstick all over my lips, but not all my, or like not like all over my mouth, but not on my lips. Does that make sense? Okay. And you can see my back a little bit, my background a little better. This light already went dead though, and I only used it twice. Okay, that thing's a piece of junk. We're getting rid of that. But I think because this window's open, yeah, you guys can see my background a little bit more. You can see like the table there. Yeah. And then this is my old wall. If you guys are new, this is my old macrame wall. I think that's where I'll put my chair when I do my pre-recorded. So. Oh yeah, Court will never approve everyday clothing, probably. All right, I mean, for him they might, but I thought you meant like. I was thinking like not everyday clothing, but I was thinking like certain clothing. You know how judges are. Never mind. I should have stayed in my lane. You were talking. You guys were talking in the chat. Yeah, manually powered off at 100%. But it's not a handful of hair. It's one hair. And it's consistent with Chapin's own reference hair. I'm sure it is his hair. And it's dissimilar to Kohberger's hair. It's not Kohberger's hair. And it's one hair in each hand. I don't think that. Oh, it must be the murderer. Oh, God. Oh, Jesus. It does create new pain for the families. What? Betsy, no, they didn't. Oh my God. I believe it. I believe it. I believe it. Oh my God. Get, oh my God. Like, I've been thinking about this for myself, right? It doesn't ruin their lawsuit at all. It actually affects their lawsuit zero. Why would it? He's not getting a new trial, Matt. He put in what everybody puts in whenever they're in prison. He put in a post-conviction relief. And he's trying to cite ineffective counsel. Do you think he's going to get that and get a new trial with ineffective counsel? And he's talking about hair, clumps of hair that don't even exist. We will be lucky if they don't send him to the loony motherfucking bin in the hospital. The loony bin you go, Kohberger, you want it out. You're going to the hospital. Well, I'm going to get off here and do things that are fun because that's what I'm going to start doing nowadays. I want to, before summer ends, I want to be at the little pool I got. I want to be there every single day. So you'll see me here in a day or two or three. I'll be back, but don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to hit the like button for me if you guys don't mind. Don't forget to do all the things. Sometimes we even hold like open panels. If you guys want to come up and talk, you guys are more than welcome to do that. And yeah, so I hope you guys have a wonderful evening. Thanks for all the gifts and all of the everything, just everything you guys have done. Hitting the like button, being here, supporting the channel. If you guys want to support even further, after the live is over, you can always come back and comment underneath my video. You can always, what else? Comment under the video or hype the video. So thank you guys so much for being here. I appreciate it. And I'll see you guys all tomorrow. Bye, guys.
Just like the street lights lit this town, like a fire in a blaze, gotta burn it down. Can't be afraid to leave this out. We got this far, don't know how. I see danger in your eyes. just like a spark that's breaking